Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. 3 topics for this video. First, Trump will get Greenland 100%. With military action or without? Well, the Prime Minister of Denmark says no. The Prime Minister of Greenland says no. Well, we'll find out, right? What are the options? Is it possible that nobody can stop Trump? That's the first one. Or who's going to stop him? That's the first topic. The second topic, Trump wants to talk to Putin. And the third one is a Russian envoy is in Washington, D.C. right now talking about the ceasefire and the deals with rare earth minerals from Russia. And this person is none other than a guy who was under sanctions until a few days ago. But because he had to come to Washington, D.C., they lifted the sanctions. Anything changed? No. But anyway, that's the way things work. People who work in the real world, they know that, the policies are just general guidances. Policies or laws are general guidance. That's how you have to look at them. Why? They can always be turned, twisted, and they're always going to be waivers. Always. The authority figures just says, we're not going to follow the policy because I said so. So let's start with the first topic, Greenland. This is an article from 4 days ago. Greenland Prime Minister says U.S. will not get Greenland. Okay, nice. But now this is from 2 days ago. You cannot annex another country. The Danish Prime Minister tells United States over Greenland. All right? And then we have this. 100% US gets Greenland, says Trump. All right, this is from the 30th of March. Using military force to acquire the island is not off the table, the American president has said. US President Donald Trump has said he is sure that Washington will take over Greenland and that he has already had absolutely real conversations about annexing the Danish autonomous territories. And I'm quoting Trump. We'll get Greenland? Yeah, 100%. Trump told the U.S. broadcaster NBC in a phone interview on Saturday. There is and I'm quoting, a good possibility that we could do it without military force. He stated, adding that he would not, and I'm quoting, take anything off the table. According to the American president, the annexation of Greenland is an issue of international peace and international security and strength. When asked what message the move would send to the rest of the world, Trump stated, and I'm quoting, I don't really think about that. I don't really care. All right. So that means if the government decides that for the common good, they need to sacrifice your child, I guess it's a-okay. No? I mean, after all, right. Let's say Trump says we're going to get Greenland. Who's going to stop him? Let's say he gives the order of the military to occupy Greenland. Who's going to stop? The Greenland's army? Denmark? The European Union? NATO, which is US? Who is Russia? China? Who is going to stop United States of America? Nobody. So you can't do squat. So you better give it as a purchase, like the Louisiana purchase, which was a purchase, but the purchase of half of Mexico after the Mexican-American War was a purchase. And better make it like a purchase, okay? Not even the Alaska purchase was, We're going to get it 100% if Trump really wants. I think he just wants them to crack and say, okay, let's make a deal over steel. So this is Trump. We'll get it. Who is going to stop him? The world is like a neighborhood. There are some guidances, some rules. You have a United Nations that has no military. Remember, what matters is this. This is what matters. Not money. Not money. I tell you why. If you have a few banks with the money, or some billionaires, if I send 5 guys over there with weapons, those billionaires with their bodyguards that they have, I don't think they will make it. Why? I'm the military of a country. I can fuck you up. So again, when you see these guys, they are sitting ducks. That's the first subject. Let's go to the second subject, talking about Trump saying, I'm going to call Putin. Well, that's great. That's great. So a few days ago, you threatened him, you warned him, you were upset, you were angry with him. Now we're going to call him. That's great. He thinks, and this is Trump's main trump, and that is, I'm unpredictable. To the level of extent of a baboon or something. Let's see. This is from Russia Today again. Trump teases new Putin call. NBC, the same interview. After the previous phone conversation between the two leaders, Russia and Ukraine went on to separately agree to a partial ceasefire. U.S. President Donald Trump has said he may have another phone call with Russian President Vladimir Putin in the coming days. NBC News reported on Sunday. Trump and Putin last in an interview with NBC News on Sunday. Trump said the two presidents plan to speak again this week. The U.S. president also stated he will sanction Russia if he considers that it is to blame in the event a ceasefire in Ukraine conflict fails. What if they find out Ukraine is to blame in the event of a ceasefire violation? What are they going to do? Well, I don't think they care. And I'm quoting, if Russia and I are unable to make a deal, which is under my terms, on stopping the bloodshed in Ukraine, and if I think it was Russia's fault, which it might not be, but if I think it was Russia's fault, I'm going to put secondary tariffs on oil, on all oil coming out of Russia. And the Russians say, Davai. He was quoting and saying, he added that he was very angry and pissed off about Putin's statements about the legitimacy of Ukraine, Vladimir Zelensky. All right, so he's going to call him. I hope so. That's always good to have contact, communicate. Even if you disagree, communication is better than no communication. Right, and remember, the cold shoulder or, the silence treatment of the narcissists are just that, narcissistic behavior. And let's see what the Putin envoy did in Washington, D.C. He's right there right now. The problem is this guy, Kirill Dmitriev, was under sanctions about 2 days ago. So they lifted the sanctions so can have this guy meet Mr. Witkowstein. Putin envoy visit Washington, and very interesting, he says this. Two things you have to get out of this. Kirill Dmitriev said the Trump administration understands Russia's position. That's a good start. And the other one is there are some that are really trying to destroy their understanding. And he's not going to mention whom, but I'm going to show you what he said. And here, this is the first article, and I'm going to use another one. Putin's envoy says U.S. Russia ties sabotaged by unknown forces. I can tell you who the forces are, no problem. Que bono. Who benefits? Who benefits out of the war? And there's some people who want to destroy Russia. One specific group. And I'm quoting, today, many forces stand in the way of restoring constructive cooperation. Forces interested in preserving tension, Dmitriev said. These forces deliberately distort Russia's position and try to derail any steps towards dialogue, sparing neither money nor resources. So, Dmitriev suggested that the so-called opponents of rapprochement fear that U.S. and Russia might find common ground and begin building cooperation in both international affairs and economics. Let me show you the other one too, because I said I'm going to show you two. And this is from Reuters. First was from New Voice of Ukraine. This is the second one. Putin envoy Dmitriev said some forces are trying to sow discord between Russia and U.S. I think that is very obvious with what the Europeans are trying to do and what the domestic forces in the United States of America are trying to do to Trump. And the question is why? Who hates Russia? Mostly is one particular group. Because everybody else will say, okay, let's negotiate with Russia. No, these guys want to take over Russia. Who might that be? Now, if tomorrow Russia disappears as an enemy, all right, destroyed, the military-industrial complex will not make money. because they can't ask for, hey, you got to arm yourselves against whom exactly? The boogeyman is gone. We're going to attack Iran, this is going to be gone. So they're going to be run out of business. So the military-industrial complex definitely don't have an interest the war to end or the boogeyman to be tamed, which is Putin, obviously. So that's one. Another one, the banking system. How do you build weapons? You don't build weapons with your revenues. Since you're bankrupt, your economy runs a deficit. That means you spend more than you earn. That means you borrow money or you print money. Right? If you print money, that's inflation. If you borrow money, who wins? The banks. And then you have to build those weapons. How do you build those weapons? Well, with energy. I mean, it's manufacturing industry, right? Building weapons. So you already got the three things. And let's say tomorrow the world ends. You need to reconstruct. And again, you got everything but the weapons. You got the energy. You got the banks going to give loans, but you don't have the military-industrial complex. And remember, the military-industrial complex is the only one of these three that has the guns. The only one. So that means you show up to a debate. Let's say you have 5 baboons in front of you, bottom feeders, and you show up and you come with a pistol. Right? Let's say it's a Walther P99 40 caliber. Chichik, and put it on the table. You don't have to do anything. And look at them. It's okay. I disagree with that. I disagree with that. I guarantee you, you're going to walk out of that room with everything that you wanted achieved. Why? You're the only one having a gun at a conversation or a debate. So obviously you're going to win. So here is, my friends. The first one, the United States of America will take Greenland if really Trump is serious about it. The other one, obviously, is going to be with Putin or Trump calling Putin, which is great if they talk again. And the third one is forces are trying to derail this. And I think there are forces over there really who hate not only the peace between Russia and United States of America. No, they want to take over Russia. That's the price. And then after that is going to be China and so on. So that's a global domination. Unknown forces. I think they know who the forces are, or what the force actually is. Well, it's not only one, but main one, we know who they are. The ones who were kicked out in about 1960s from Soviet Union and then kicked by Putin in 2006 out of Russia. Who those might be, I don't know. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.